Radio check, radio check. Radio check, radio check. Well, good evening, race fans, and a very warm welcome to this second series of League of Destruction. This is the true Drive to Survive, brought to you by Ricky Maru and our friends here at the server. My name is Webbo, as you probably gathered from the name of the server and stream that you're tuning into. And good evening to Nike, Ollie, Leo, and XDF1 as well, who have already said hello in the live chat. Welcome to everybody who is tuning in. We look forward to this. it was certainly a very, very popular and enjoyable time when we said a somewhat fond farewell to F123 back in May and June of this year. But we're here to enjoy some off-season fun and plenty of crashing and smashing to do as well. We've got it's Callum, who is XDF1 Pro, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So we have it's basically 2 races per night, 5 race nights in total. So tonight, the 16th, the 23rd of November, and then the 5th of December and the 7th of December, to get everybody in the mood for some great action. We're going to be at Bahrain and Hungary today, followed by Qatar and Singapore. That one's going to be quite something on the 16th. On the 23rd, we've got Holland or the Netherlands and Las Vegas. On the 5th of December, Mexico and Jeddah. And finishing in Miami and Portugal. We have a full roster of drivers expected for tonight and for the series. We have an even larger prize pot. This is playing for €130 prize pot, and that is divided between the top 3 teams in the championship, and they can decide what to do and how to divide that prize between themselves as well. So we look forward to that. So just to talk to you about some new rules. This is no rules, of course, but some new features of our racing. We have got a 25 point for a win, 21 for second, 18 for third, and so on, but only down to 12th place. Down to 14th place, we drop a point each time, and then it's 5 points for every classified finisher outside of the top 14. We've got 5 points for fastest lap, and then a brand new thing, which is Bounty Hunter. So after the race 1, so as soon as the second race tonight gets underway, if you take out the current championship leader, you get a bonus 15 points. If you actually make a kill, so you actually make them DNF, then you will get 15 bonus points, and quite likely end up in the same situation yourself. So an interesting factor of our championship. I know Ricky is super quick with the updates of the current standings. It'll be quite easy tonight. Should be able to tell by the finish screens here as we just wait to get the final few drivers in. I see El Plan is here to take part. He featured very, very highly in the previous season that we did of this. Sorry to hear that Leo won't be making it tonight, but hopefully be at some point during our mini season here. And to talk to you a little bit about the drivers we have involved, we've got Floyd and Nike driving for McLaren. We have Ultramies and Bra for Aston Martin. We have Ricky and Atsu, brothers from Norway, driving the Haas cars again, with AJ and Astube driving the Red Bull. We have Carmad 14 and Callum in Ferrari, Bjorn de Boer and Betty in the V-Carbs, with Studios and Alpha Alex in the Williams for the season, but there is a change to that lineup today. El Plan and Leo are in Stake F1 team and the Saubers. Then we have Ollie and Milan, the 2 Diectors for Mercedes, and MC Herpy and Luke Racer, who you will remember is Lenny from the previous season, taking part in the Alpine. So we're going to have a dry race in Bahrain and a wet to dry race in Hungary, I'm reliably informed. And a little change to tonight's driving. Ollie will drive in Bahrain but not take part in Hungary. Callum will drive in Bahrain and in Hungary as well. AJ is going to miss Bahrain but join us for Hungary, so he'll be here a little bit later. And Marco is in as reserve driver for Studios tonight, so Marco will be collecting points for that team. And if they end up placing first, second or third in the championship, I think you have a claim for some points overall. But there's plenty of water to flow under the bridge today with regard to this special format of, I would say racing, but it's really just Destruction Derby featuring Formula One cars. The damage is on reduced, but that does mean we should end up with some much larger and heavier contacts as a result. We're going to go straight into one-shot qualifying for the race tonight, and then I think it will be random or grid order or finishing order. I can't remember exactly which for our subsequent races, but one-shot quali for Bahrain in the dry to get underway for you very soon. If you haven't already done so, say hello, tell us who you're here to watch and enjoy. And for the drivers who are listening in, I hope they'll stop by when they crash out and update us and let us know exactly why, who's to blame, and what they do differently maybe next race on. If they've started a rivalry, then we want to know all about it. There's 15 official turns of the Bahrain International Circuit, one of the most famous new additions to the Formula One calendar, and certainly one stands alone, I think, with regard to the Middle East tracks as being something that they got right very early on, and has become quite a classic. Of course, now the testing venue for the most of the off-season testing, if not all of it, as it was this year. But we look forward to seeing what the drivers can do here. The only rules really that they're being enforced: no reset to track unless you're obviously stuck, and no reversing at the start. But you can reverse after the first mini sector of the race, and you can do whatever damage you like. We've got some fantastic creative ideas around how to do this race and to do this season. I'm not sure whether Bounty Hunter will remain or it'll be a different type of bonus feature later on. But just to remind you, if you were late to the broadcast, Bounty Hunter points will be in effect. 15 bonus points if you kill if you force a DNF of the current championship leader from race 2. It is, of course, night 1 here for season 2 of League of Destruction. Certainly, it was the highest viewed shorts that I have published since the first season. It's what everybody wants in shorts videos is the crashes. So it's certainly made for some great clips. And if you do have a favourite clip after the broadcast, do drop the time code in a comment, and then you can relive the moments on the broadcast itself. Let's get underway then for that one-shot quali, and we'll just find out who can make it through the first corner. There will be some drivers who decide to start at the back. Atsu is going full throttle with the Johnny Herbert line through the first corner, but just wrestling the car back again. I think Callum in the Ferrari is running super wide. He's going to go very, very wide into turn 4 here. That's certainly creative, but Milan is going quicker and completely cutting out the circuit. He's out on the dunes here as we head then down into the turn 8, then one of the slowest, most difficult corners, and I don't think there'll be much shortcutting this one. Maybe a nice little drift, yeah. Nice drift to widen the radius of turn 9 and 10, and then we're going to run fully out on the sand for some reason. I'm sure that's slower than the tarmac as we head towards the difficult few corners. I can't imagine there's a quicker line through these ones than the natural corner, but Callum is creating new lines. He knows where all the tarmac is anyway, and slowly but surely working his way through. He's got his teammate Karmad in second place as we again stretch the width of the track and then go for a nice finale through turns 14 and the official turn 15 before heading to finish out one-shot quali. And he's beaten by his teammate by 4 hundredths of a second in the end. Karmad took home the pole position from teammate Callum. Ricky Maru in his own league here is in P3 with Milan in 4th and Loop Racer in 5th place. There's a very slow lap from Ultramise. There's an even slower than a very slow lap from Brat, who is down at the back. Interesting tactics here from Ultramise and Brat for Aston Martin, clearly intending to start right at the very back. But that is Karmad, who has got himself a pole position then for the start of our first 25% race, where at least one pit stop is mandatory regardless of the conditions. There is Carmad on the front row with his teammate Callum. Ricky for Haas in third with Milan. For Mercedes in fourth position, we have the German Loop Racer in the Alpine in fifth, with our Ash Tube in the Red Bull in sixth place. El Plan is in seventh, Atsu in eighth, and then we have Ollie in ninth, Betty in 10th with Floyd Pink, Alpha Alex in 11th and 12th. Then comes Nike, Beyond a Burt, Ultra Mies and Brat. 16 drivers will take on the challenge of Bahrain for you. And we will see who survives in the end of this first race and who becomes the bounty for the bounty hunters in race 2. Can't wait to get underway with you all. And hopefully we're going to enjoy this one. Night race in Bahrain. And we look forward to seeing exactly who is going to make the kills and who is going to avoid it. Or do you go for a big grab of points early on, or are you thinking maybe to try and fly under the radar for the first couple of nights here and then steal a march towards the end of the season? We shall see how the drivers decide to tackle this. Will it be flat chat all out, or will they be being very, very cautious? There was a real mix in season 1 for our drivers and their approach to the racing. We've got a wide open classic racetrack feel here for the first 2 races. I suppose Hungary not particularly wide, but it's a fixed race circuit rather than a street circuit, which will feature later in our season. Yeah, but if you're watching with us live, do drop a line. Tell me who you think will be the championship leader after the first round tonight. Let's wait and see. There will be a short break while standings are prepared for the first in between races, although I'm not quite sure that's necessary tonight because we will of course get standings from the first race, but we shall see. Anyway, the pit lane lights are on. We are ready to get racing as soon as possible. Folks, let's get everybody in. It's only a 25% race, though, so things will probably happen rather quicker than you might be used to watching, and the countdown will be ready for us very soon. We'll get the command from admin to get us underway. And let me see. I'm just going to check the driver chat room here. MC Hopi was a little bit late, but he's going to join in for the Hungary race, if he can stick around. Then Melon is calling for everyone to take out the Ferraris in the first lap. So it's going to be interesting. I can't remember what Melon's gamer tag is to help you out here. If you're watching with me live, let me know. The go command, the green light has been waved in the driver chat room, and let's wait for that carnage. The drivers didn't typically wait for the 5 lights to go out, so we shall see if we'll have bowling into turn 1. Of course, it is a big stop into turn 1 unless you decide to try and cut that line on the way in. Here we go then. The lights are building. We are going to get all 5 on, and the Ferrari at the lead of the race does get away nicely. Milan races into an early lead, but that could be a very dangerous position to end up being in, and they all run through that shortcut into turn 1. That is Milan in the front of the grid. We've got some problems for the drivers at the towards the back there. Betty, Ultra Mies, Ricky Maru from near the front of the grid down into 13th position and passing Floyd Pink as they run through here. Little dummy there from Ricky Maru as they go through, but it's Milan who's in the lead. Cars absolutely everywhere. They need some special sand tyres and equipment on the cars. That is absolute melee on the way into the next few corners into turn 9 now, and there's just fairly gentle contact early on. As they run down the start-finish line, they are all over the road. It is kill or be killed here in the Bahrain first race of second season. The Ferrari there of Cardman, who was on pole position, is all the way down into 6th position, and they're looking to try and make a early kill here if they can. Carmad with a nice cutback through the grid, but Milan out there at the front of the race so far. And no DNF, 16 drivers continuing with us, but I'm just wondering if right at the front of the grid and down into turn 1 we will see some action. The drivers will barely need to brake if they're going to turn in to the corner. That seems to be the plan here, and that is a side swipe from the Red Bull of Ashtube onto Carmad 14, but no way through just yet for him, and no damage to speak of. As we've got El Plan getting his elbows out, and Loop Racer going outside inside with the nice cut back on the corner as they're trying to find their way through. I swear one of these drivers is going to go sky high in a minute over the bumps and sand dunes, and that was Loop Racer trying to profit there, and unfortunately didn't work out. But the Ferrari of Carmad is now back up to P3 and trying to follow his teammate, who is a long way, 5.7 seconds further down the road. Ashtube fully alongside with Bjorn de Boer as they run in towards turn 11 here. The driver's not able to put a proper smash move on each other just yet. We shall see if we catch anybody. That was Carmad going very wide for the entry into 13. Then the short straight down towards the final 2 corners that are pretty much taken as one. We've got Ollie having moved down at the order. Currently the Haas's are together in the race position. Ricky in 10th, Atsu in 11th. Betty is in 12th position. And then we've got Ultra Mies. That's Alpha Alex just getting behind Loop Racer. And there's a pit stop starting. Is there? Ricky Maroof dives into the pits. And the Williams planning to come through. No, I missed that. No, Ricky actually just dummied the pit lane as they tried to cut that first corner in a big way. What have we got going on here between Ashtube and Bjorn de Boer? It's lap 3 of 14. And I told you it would be very, very quick. This race is dealt with. Nike's in the pits. Maybe for damage to be repaired here. It's rallycross. It's basically turning the circuits into a rallycross circuit. That was a spinella from Ollie. His teammate is at the head of the race, but there's nothing Ollie can do to protect him at the moment. We may have AI protection plans later in the season as well. But for tonight, it is full on human racers here. Who is that just out in the background? That's Callum. Then in second place, 4.2 seconds away from the lead, Bjorn de Boer and Ashtube trading to see who can take the widest lines through the next couple corners. It's lap 3 still of those 14. That is a move to the inside, traditional overtaking maneuver coming here from the VCARB driver Bjorn de Boer. We are used to seeing him in another league in a McLaren, but not tonight. Bjorn de Boer moving forward, but unfortunately Ashtube taking the shortcut and getting through the final 2 corners all by himself without a problem. That was El Plan, who is taking a much wider line through the corners for a earlier throttle pickup on the way through turns 2, 3, 4. And then we've got Loop Racer in 7th place, waiting to see if anybody is going to go for a maneuver here. This is Ollie just weaving around behind Ricky Maroof. And Ricky getting a bit nervous, looking in the mirrors. Is he about to be taken out here? That's a good line. Whoa! Over the top goes Ricky. That was pretty violent maneuver as he jumps over the curbs. He may decide not to do that again. That was a very adventurous rallycross maneuver and launched into the air. Didn't quite flip the car. We've got damage on an Aston Martin up there towards the back, and that is Ultra Mies retiring from the race. Let's see if we can see. And so is Bra. So Bra and Ultra Mies out. That will promote Nike in a moment. But Ultra Mies and Bra, the Aston Martin drivers, both out on the same lap and potentially the same incident. It seemed to happen very, very quickly following one another. It is Milan leading Carmad and Ashtube. Now, does Milan really want to be the championship leader heading into race 2 when Bounty Hunter rules will be in effect? Into the pits comes Callum for, I'm guessing, this will just be tyres. Front wing is, well, no, he will fit a new front wing. It did look a little bit second best. Into the pits heads Ricky Maroof, I think, and he still has at least some semblance of front wing left. Missing an end plate is Floyd Pink out there in the McLaren, and his teammate is being hassled by the leader, who is taken out. There goes Milan into the wall, as through comes Carmad14 to tackle a very unsafe rejoin, but of course no such thing here in League of Destruction. We encourage unsafe rejoins for the views, of course. Here is Bjorn de Boer then, sandwiched between Ashtube in front and El Plan behind, and it's got to be a slightly nervous position for him, as you've got to see that Milan has no front wing end plate. The pit stop window is definitely open for the drivers to change compound here in the dry conditions. No sand tyres available for them, or special high grip rallycross tyres. They are quite happy to take. There's just some phantom smoke being generated, just the sand wafting across the circuit. That was a swipe there from the V-carb of Bjorn de Boer, but he missed Ashtube. They are trying very hard to take each other out. And then we've got a driver going the wrong way through the order. That I looked like, was that the second Mercedes? It was for a moment, and it looks like he's made contact with a Haas. And I think that Haas is now deciding to do exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's Ricky Maru going sideways and wiping out the V-carb. So one half of a front wing on the V-carb. It's ride with Ricky Maru, who tries a spin turn in front of the grid, try and break the cars that were in front of him. Here he goes, spin turn. This is, of course, a blind exit corner. As he goes for it, there's a problem for Ashtube. Looks like Ashtube has come to blows here with a McLaren who's running around near the back. El Plan managed to survive that one, and then a little spin and hold there from Milan. Beyond the board now promoted to second position with El Plan in third. I think the plan for El Plan is to take things slowly and never actually be the championship leader until the final round. As F14 is in P1, 6.3 seconds away from trouble, except for the fact that we've got drivers off track trying to take each other out. That was Carmad14, who clearly was taken out by one of the drivers going the wrong way, and I think that was Ricky Maru doing donuts there at the exit of one of the final three corners. This is Carmad then heading into the pits for his scheduled stop. We've got Ricky still doing pirouettes here. Can he take anybody out in a big way? That's a nasty blind exit corner coming up here. He'll be studying the track map, which I should probably put on the screen for you, so we can see where everybody is relative to each other. Let's have a look. He's coming on a driver now, and he's trying a spin turn, and he killed himself, did Ricky, unfortunately. So that was nice while it lasted, but he's out. Ricky is out of the race, and so is his teammate on the same lap. This seems to keep happening. So both of our Astons, both of our Haas, out on the same lap as each other, not the same lap overall, as we look down to see what the Ferraris are doing. Big grey streak of sand being kicked up there. Glued sand as well, it is, on the Bahrain International Circuit. And this is the kind of line that Ricky took before, but heading over the curb absolutely wiped him out. So difficult to judge your braking points when you're off track. You've got no grip. The brakes aren't working as you expect them to. So pit stops made by the majority of the field. Alpha Alex is still out there in the Williams, having not pitted yet, but so have all of the leaders. They are all awaiting their pit stop. Into the pits comes Milan then, as Ashtube passes him, and behind Milan, I think Luke Bracer on his way in as well. And then we've got Ollie getting past. No, Ollie, this is Milan. Ollie passing teammate here in the pits, and so he'll be one of the last ones left to pit. So is Bjorn de Boer, and just overdoing it a little bit there from Ollie. And who needed that Rolex sign anyway? As that goes tumbling across behind him, and the driver, then one of the McLarens there coming on in the background, quite a way down in the field at the moment. Ashtube in second place, and I think that is race leader Bjorn de Boer in front of Ashtube, and starting to feel the pressure a little bit now. So running through that difficult turn 9 and 10 interchange, the little straight with the DRS available to the drivers. There's some debris on the approach to turn 11 and on the exit of turn 11, it seems. But that is your your race leader, as Atsu says, bad start for Haas. Who wiped you out, Atsu? Was it self-inflicted? I know Ricky's was. He was doing donuts in order to try and catch drivers out, and he ended up killing himself, I think. And we've got El Plan out there, and he is 0.6 of a second only away from a rival. So keep an eye on this one as El Plan hunting down the Mercedes. As Atsu says, he was tried to kill a Ferrari but failed. And Ricky says, terrible. You knocked the front corner off your Haas trying to take out another driver. So clearly, I'm not sure if that tactic is going to work there, Ricky. But hopefully you can let us know if this will be the case. Oh, and that looked like it was going to be a box opposite situation. But El Plan and Milan have both already stopped, so they don't need to stop. They'll be trying to avoid it. Out of the pits comes another driver. And that was, I think, Ashtube coming out of the pits. This is Milan stuck now between them, and behind them we've got Ashtube and Loop Racer, with the Ferraris just I think playing rear and side gunner to each other at the moment and just trying to stay out of this situation here. Look at the lack of front wing on that Mercedes, and the trackside cameras aren't even catching our drivers here as Milan tries to get that car stopped, and he's got nothing on that front wing right hand side, driver's right. It is basically an IndyCar oval front wing here. Gets the switch back on the Red Bull. Lap 9 of 14, so a bit of a 5-lapper left to go in our first race here, as the drivers just experimenting with their lines. There won't be quite as many off-track excursions in Hungary, I don't fancy. Not many ways to shortcut the track as there are here in Bahrain. Permanent race circuit made after all the regulations came in to encourage track days at circuits. I don't think the Hungaroring gets a great deal of track days, but that is Floyd Pink making it a complete set of McLaren's, Haas and Aston Martins out of the race. We've got some nibbling around going on here between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Bit of a 2021 situation right in front of us. Sorry to anyone who's still got PTSD from that season. And heading into the turn 4, they go side by side. Carmad now starting to move up the order, risk his race position. A nice little bunny hop there from the Ferrari. I don't think they were quite built to do that, as he almost shaves the inside barrier. That would be a very embarrassing way of taking a wheel off there. As Carmad, who has led this race, was the pole position, but has suffered at the hands of other drivers. Everyone has made their mandatory pit stops. Carmad manages to punt himself really sidewall into the wall on the gap between turn 10 and 11. And again, lots of drivers going very wide into 11. I'm not sure that's the shortest distance here, but some very, very creative lines here. Some kind of Max Verstappen defensive lines happening. Here comes Carmad 14. He'll get DRS, I think, in a minute, unless he's brake checked up by Ashtube. As heading out of the final corner they come. And as it's Ferrari on the hunt in stereo. We've got Carmad on Ashtube. We've got Callum on Milan here, as getting the DRS, getting the inside line, and a nice little lean on each other. Big impact between the two of them. That wasn't Ollie. That was Milan, who gets himself out of danger. The camera always seems to switch to the shoulder camera coming through turns 2 and 3. But Carmad is in 4th place. We've got Ashtube in 3rd. Very close between these 3 drivers. El Plan in 2nd place. And that was Carmad trying to swipe and take out Ashtube, but failing at this stage so far. Will anybody be able to finish this race with a front wing, and will it get even? Now, why does Carmad keep doing that? Is he just no traction control and trying to accelerate on the painted sand out there on the exit of turn 10? I wonder. Anyway, Bjorn de Boer has a 4.2 second lead in this race so far. Ashtube is in 3rd with just 0.8 of a second behind previous race winner, of course, and championship leader and I think championship winner, El Plan, in that second position. And we wait to see if anyone wants to take him out. Fastest lap at this stage from Bjorn de Boort, and that has been registered. It is allowed from however he decided to do it. Now, they're shortening the braking zone here for minimum damage possibility. I wonder if there was contact. No, not quite, as Ashtube hopped over the sand and managed to try and find a clear path without hitting the Kick-Sauber in front of him. I wonder if he is actually going to wipe this driver out or not. He's trying his best to take out El Plan. But El Plan currently being pretty cagey about it. There was a chance there of rolling off the brake and aiming the front wing. But it's so difficult to take another driver out without taking off your own front wheel. Again, another runaway. That's Carmad managing to get the throttle down out of turn 10 this time, and now Ashtube with the DRS is trying his best here, but El Plan moving around in the braking zone legitimately, of course, here, as we've got a V-carb of Betty at the back of the field, just playing the defensive line here. I wonder if Betty's going to play spoiler. No, Betty's staying pretty out of the way of this one as Carmad is trying to get through, but no, Betty is quite happy to wipe out a Ferrari if he possibly can. Going for the wide line he goes. Of course, Betty will be racing at home in Hungary in a few moments. That's a little weave there from El Plan. Back and forth. Let's see. Because they're not using the brakes too much into turn 1, they are avoiding being hit. But we haven't had any major brake checking events happen so far. Does Ashtube fancy his chances here? Will we see Bjorn de Boort get taken out? All drivers circulating in the proper clockwise position here. We want to see more of that helicopter camera, for it's really come into its own here for League of Destruction. It's lap 13 of 14, and the first hint that a driver might be lying in wait at the exit, at the gap between turns 14 and 15. Let's have a look. That is Callum just sitting there waiting to, what is he waiting for? To spin turn into our race leader potentially, who has a 7-second lead and is out there, and he's coming through the corner before this hit. So through 13 comes our race leader on the penultimate lap of the race, and I wonder if he's looking at our angle here. Through he goes. Oh, it was so close as Callum tried to reverse into the driver in front. And there we go. Oh, nice. Nice triple crash. Unfortunately, Callum has wiped out his teammate. That is perhaps one of the bigger crashes we have seen so far. And I think another driver got caught up. It was Betty who did get caught up in the middle of that and has taken off almost his entire front wing. Bjorn de Boort survived, though, and is about to finish out sector 1 of his race. We only have 7 runners remaining from the 16 who took part. As AJ says, "No, Ash, no. This is so not right," in the live chat. Well, he's got backup, says AJ, but I can't believe that Callum managed to take out his teammate there into the corner. We'll look forward to seeing AJ back with us here, who I think will be performing as ARL 33. This is Bjorn de Boort, who is coming through with untroubled from in front of him. I'm not sure that anything is going to happen with Bjorn de Boort. Something might happen, though, with El Plan. Who has he got directly in front of him? Looks to be an Alpine. It's a Williams, excuse me. So I don't know if he fancies taking him out. He will know that it's not a race for position between these two. Looks like Bjorn de Boort, though, coming through the final 2 corners, taking them as one, very literally. Bjorn de Boort will be our first winner and, crucially, our championship leader for round 2 of this League of Destruction Season 2, Night 1. This is El Plan to cross the line in the 2nd position. Loop Racer will come through in 3rd. And I think we will get Milan. We'll get both Mercedes home. So good points for the Mercedes team. Remember that the prize pot is simply an award to the teams, and they can divide it up as they see fit. So 4th and 5th place for the Mercedes. That is Alpha Alex, who's already crossed the line. I think Betty coming through in 7th and managing to finish the race. But a tremendous first race here for us. And highlight for me has to be that manoeuvre from Callum. He hasn't come into the live chat to discuss what he just did. That was a bit crazy from him. Apparently, Ultra Mies and Bra bought the game 1 hour prior to us playing tonight, so they have absolutely nothing to unlearn in order to take part in this one. Might be Wreckfest speaking. Callum saying there's still in the chunk of the season to go, and he is going to take part in Hungary, but that is Bjorn de Boer on the winning start, but he will have the biggest target on his back as the championship leader. This then is how the championship is going to look between races 1 and 2 of this night 1 of 5. It's Bjorn de Boer ahead of El Plan, last season's champion, with Lou Pracer in 3rd, Milan in 4th, and Ollie in 5th, Alpha Alex in 6th, and Betty in 7th. No one else will be receiving points, I don't believe, out of this race. So this is going to be very, very interesting. I just want to check out Race Director just to check that everybody pitted, and I believe that they actually did. Yeah, everybody has pitted, so there will be penalties if we don't pit. Different laps of retirement there. We had lots of double retirements for teammates going through the race. Ferraris, Haas, McLaren, Aston Martin, all out on very similar, if not identical, times. But we're going to have AJ into the lobby. I think we've got everybody getting together. Let's see. There's going to be a short break here, so we're going to have a few people heading out. I think we've got Callum. He's planning on just doing the first few laps here of the race. So it's smash everybody to pieces. Ollie is going to step out, and I don't think he will be replaced by a sub here today. It is Bjorn who is Epic Melon. There you go. So the bounty is now on Bjorn de Boer. There he is, the Dutchman in the V-Carb. So a pity his teammate who might get wiped out, Betty, at home here. And AJ saying Ash couldn't carry Red Bull because he had Perez as his teammate. Basically non-existent indeed. But it's going to be very interesting here. Luke Racer calling Ferrari Masterplan with that wipeout there at the end. And we're just waiting for MC Huppy. There is ARL, AJ in, and you'll know AJ and his voice from the previous series, but he's decided to race this time and he won't be taking part. Let's going to get you just confirmation of the standings. I don't need to say pre-stewards because, of course, there are no stewards. Bjorn de Boer has 30 points ahead of El Plan's 21. Loop Racer 18. Milan 16. Oh, they have given points to non-finishers. Very, very kind indeed. Milan ahead of Ole 16 to 15. 14 for Alpha Alex. 13 for Betty. 12 for Carmad in 8th. 9th is Ashtube on 11. Callum 10th. Then we have Floyd Pink in 9th. Nike in 8th. Atsu on 7 points. Ricky Moore on 6. Ultramies and Bra both receive 5 points for taking part. So there you go. Very good indeed. So some last minute additions to the race. There is MC Huppy. We've got AJ in. We've got Ollie out. We have got, I think it was Callum planning to leave partway through the race. So that's going to be interesting. We've got a very good spread of nationalities, and I'd be really, really grateful if anyone who hasn't done yet could like the video and also subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting clips up, and you can, of course, do exactly the same thing, especially with timestamps in the comments of this video. But really appreciate any new subscribers. If you can, try and bring out daily or every 2-day sim racing content, and as always, live racing every week on this channel. So the time is ticking down. We are going to go for a wet to dry Hungaro ring for Betty's home race. Managed to finish the race, Betty, last time, and Bjornborg has started to beg to not be taken out. But I think we're going to be watching out for Callum here, who is going to be playing spoiler and will be heading out of the server in about 12 minutes time. So one shot quali again we're going to go for. So I think that's going to be the pattern today. So we'll be running a little bit behind schedule possibly, but ready to get underway. All the drivers are in here. Bjorn saying he started second to last to end up winning, and he's going to do it again. I cannot go to the front. GG. So he's going to sit at the back and just let everybody leave, I think, and try and trundle around. That's one approach. The other approach is just try and get yourself ahead, but there's far fewer, I think, shortcuts available to the drivers, and you're still going to have to brake heavily into turn one. I think it's going to be very interesting. You very rarely see a wet Hungaroring, but this one is very, very wet indeed. Look at the rain teeming down. We'll be heading for that one-shot quali any moment for you. Bjorn is busy writing essays in the driver chat room, and hopefully... so he's also spoiling some football results for those that care as well. So that's going to be interesting, just to give people an extra incentive to take him out if they happen to be a fan of soccer, football. I am not, so it's no skin off my nose. Well, we are waiting then. The puddles are growing in the pit lane to get underway. Wets and inters are the exact same, says Bjorn, here at the Hungaroring and generally in F1 and F124 especially. So will anybody risk a dry tyre very early in the race? But I wonder what is going to befall our drivers on the way into turn one here for this. We, as I said, we had Bra and Bra and his teammate in the Aston Martin. They both just bought the game this evening in order to race with us. And the rain is absolutely teeming down. We've got a short timer ready for that one-shot quali to come for you. So we will be on track any moment. As I think Atsu's saying, more crashing, please. There was not enough crashing before. And I think Callum is saying that his brakes have failed already. So it's going to be interesting. Who's going to be playing the Valtteri Bottas bowling role here? It's Atsu. And this looks like the kind of weather that you can't, with confidence, actually go to full throttle at any point. This is Atsu taking the first corner pretty wide. Callum already quite high up here. So he has no real hope of winning the race. But in the wet, putting yourself out in the grass is going to be reducing low grip to 0, I think. So the drivers, there was a thought there in Luke Brace's mind of cutting the corner, but he thought better of it. Decided not to. Oh! Did well there to hold the car, and in fact he's ended up a lot slower as a result of coming off the brake. Callum is still the fastest so far. Ricky Maru is second position, as heading across the grass is Carmad. That's El Plan then in the Kick Sauber. No teammate today for El Plan. No defender for him as he full on slides it through the difficult turn, heading down to a big stop towards the end of the lap now. I think that's Callum, who has deliberately or otherwise retired from this qualifying. One shot quali here. This is Loop Racer. Will it be Milan on top once again here? He was certainly quick earlier on as he just feeds the steering, feeds the throttle out. I think it's going to be Milan to take pole. It is a 127.927 for him. And Bra retired, Callum retired, so Callum will be right at the back with absolutely nothing to play for in terms of points today. I think he'll get his 5-point starting bonus, and I think that will be it. Ultramies and Bra in the Aston Martins just in front of Callum in Ferrari, but Callum wiped his own teammate out last race, trying to back into other drivers and caused an absolute melee, and I don't think he was expecting to take his teammate out there. Wet tyres for the majority of the field for that qualifying, 127.9 for Milan. It was just Betty who went for the intermediate tyres overall. So very interesting indeed. As we'll see about our predictions. Will Bjorn de Boer be able to survive this race with a bounty of 15 points on his head is the question. And how much damage can Callum do before he has to leave us in about 6 minutes' time? So Milan's saying he's a big fan of the wet. Just in general. Just, yeah. Enough said about that. So the rain easing up a little. We are expecting it to get dry, but the first few laps of this Hungarian race are going to be pretty treacherous out there. Let me ask for your predictions as to the number of finishes today. If you're watching with us live, who do you think? We only had 7 finishes in round 1 of season 2. This is round 2. As I said, we have Saturday night smashing most of the time for this season. 1 Thursday night appointment for you. Pit stop mandatory tonight for everybody, as Callum reminds us he's going to leave. I'm not sure Callum is going to make it through the first corner. He's busy reminding everybody he has to leave any moment. But yeah, we will see if that stays out. Callum says, what time are we going? Let's go. He's in a hurry to get underway. I hope we get going very soon. The Red Bull nose cone is out there just to fill up with some water in the pit lane. So let's wait and see what the drivers... Just reassure me that the live chat is working, folks. Sometimes my live chat dies on me here. Atsu says, go. So let's wait and see. The drivers will all now just be readying up. Leo says, still waiting, lol. I think that's Leo the Scot. I don't know what he's waiting for. Is he waiting for an invite? Or is he just watching the coverage? It's the 5 lights are on. And it's go before the 5 lights go out. I'm going to go and have a look at what Callum is up to. Let's ride with Callum, shall we? As he gets past 1, 2, several cars here. And straight lining and manages to miss everybody. Brilliant stuff from Callum. Retires from the corner. Managed with 13 cars in front of him to not hit a soul. So, not exactly covering himself in glory today, Callum. As a very slow, steady drive towards the barrier goes the Aston Martin and McLaren. That didn't quite work, that particular plan. As trying to turn into the corner is Milan, and he gets a face full of new Red Bull driver ARL here. That's Callum having left the session. Lots of drivers trying their best. Nike has retired from the session. Second race on the trot. That was a Haas screaming on through the field and off into the grass, doing a little bit of wet lawn mowing, which is ill-advised, I believe. Anyway, we've got Ricky Maru just ahead of his teammate now, and down heading towards turn 12. We're going to go. There's usually a big stop into turn 12, but the driver's playing it fairly calm at the moment. This then is El Plan in 4th, being passed by ARL. Astrup and ARL looking for some good points here for the Red Bull team. Remember, Bjorn de Boer has a target on his back, and he will be subject. If someone manages to finish him off, to kill the car, he will be out. Well, Bra is out as well, unfortunately for him. That is Ultra Me's very, very late down into turn 12 and 13 at the moment. Where is Bjorn at the moment? Well, he is completely on his own here, heading into turn 1. So very undramatic from Bjorn, waiting for the field to thin out a bit, I think, here. This is Milan in the Mercedes, trying to steal a march here and get a punt going on the Red Bull in front. Cuts the corner. That was ARL very smartly avoiding contact with the Mercedes. And behind him, Carmad is the sole remaining Ferrari as well. We've got an Aston and McLaren and a Ferrari out so far. 14 drivers remain, lap 2 of 18. And Ashtube is only 0.3 of a second away from Loop Racer's lead here. Keep an eye on Bjorn de Boer and the V-carb, the dark blue V-carb icon in the towards the back of the field at the moment, as the drivers are steering and slipping and sliding their way through into turn 13. They go. Callum saying, not the best start to the season there. He said he was trying to kill three people, but they're all spread out, and that was his excuse anyway. Here comes El Plan down the inside here onto the Red Bull, braking very early, I think expecting to be turned in on in the Oracle Red Bull. And that's Loop Racer with the lead. That is an overtake for the lead from Ashtube, and he tries to tiptoe his way into turn 2 and gets a little bit of elbow action there from El Plan, from Ashtube, from Loop Racer. They are all over the shop here. Workday goes flying, as it should do. And running through the order, that was out onto the wet gravel. El Plan now has the lead, 0.7 of a second only. Here, Ultrame's down in 14th position. Bjorn de Boer, our current championship leader, is in 11th. That was a little cheeky move from there from the Mercedes. Tried to take the Red Bull of Ashtube, and all these drivers risking being sideswiped or brake checked. That was very close to the wall as well for Loop Racer. He's turned first into 6th here. There's still plenty of standing water, and the Ferrari of Carmad comes through. That's Ricky in the Haas then. He didn't seem to be particularly motivated to pick up big points in the first race. This is then Carmad, who is trying to find his way around. No pit stops yet in the order. And an absolute melee. There's like 6 cars going side by side towards turn 1 here. Anybody going bowling this time? It doesn't look like it. I would have preferred someone to go for it, but that's Loop Racer. I think he did have a go, and unfortunately didn't manage to take anybody else out. That's Haas and a Mercedes. That's Milan and Ricky Maru getting very, very close and personal there, but no major damage. We're waiting to see some really, really big hits in this race so far. This is Carmad then in 5th place, trying to go round the Williams and succeeding past Alpha Alex then. And El Plan's lead is 0.6 of a second from Ashtube, and then a 3.3. No one taking the Piff Paff chicane of turn 6 and 7. Everyone just driving clean over the top of it. We've got Alpha Alex then up into 5th, ahead of Loop Racer. Alpha Alex playing Hunter of Carmad in the Ferrari. That is Loop Racer going for it down the inside. Alpha Alex just avoiding that contact. This is Loop Racer's climb back towards the front end of the grid. And we have El Plan 0.4 of a second only in the lead ahead of Ashtube. I don't know if Ash is going to take on the opportunity to take out the leader here of the race. El Plan could end up being the championship leader in round 3, and the drivers will have plenty of time to plot their bounty hunting for that particular run. Where is our current championship leader, Bjorn de Boer? He's in 10th place. He's 27 seconds away, and that was a very slow looping Loop Racer into the barrier head on, losing an end plate or element or two from the front wing. But again, no DNF from him. Floyd Pink is in the pits. We have DNFs from both Aston Martins again with Nike and Callum. And then it looks like that is Betty getting ahead of Floyd Pink. Betty at his home race here in Hungary. Let's have a look at the 2 leaders. Here they are. Well, that was El Plan going very wide. Not particularly keen on holding the lead at this stage, and it is drying. It's drying very rapidly. So I think the drivers will come into the pits in a moment, because these intermediates are about to burn through very, very quickly. Into the pits comes Ashtube. El Plan is going to go round. It's got a significant lead at this stage and doesn't really need to worry too much, but I expect most drivers will pit during this lap. But the question is, can you survive on a pair of old intermediates in the dry if you don't yet need to change your front wing? Because you probably will need to change your front wing before the end of the race. That is Carmad coming through. So a lot of pit stops happening, but El Plan, Milan and Alpha Alex all refusing that opportunity. So will we see the intermediate tyres become undrivable soon enough? I would imagine so here in the dry conditions. Lap 6 of 18, 1/3 distance so far. And the lead is with El Plan 6 seconds clear. We also then have Bjorn de Boer, who has pitted, our championship leader. He's already needing to fit a new nose, and he's gone for the medium tyres to get that car home. Flo Pink is last in 13th place at the moment. Haven't heard from Jessica actually yet. Jessica usually pipes up in the live chat when Floyd is driving, so we shall see. Heading across the grass, across the apex of turn 12 goes Alpha Alex. And El Plan has decided now to pit. So has Milan. And I think that looks like Alpha Alex into the pits as well. That will complete everybody. Let's have a look. Is everybody on dry tyres? Not quite. Betty and Atsu have not pitted yet. Well, Betty has pitted, but too early to go onto dry tyres. And Flo Pink's gone for the hard tyre at this stage as well. I didn't think we would see many hard tyres, but there you go. So, new leader, Ashtube, by 1.2 seconds. El Plan coming out of the pits can see Ashtube as Carmad F14 is in third place. Behind him, Milan in the Mercedes. That always looks incredibly dirty, the Mercedes. New fastest lap from Ricky Maru. He's going for those fastest lap points as ARL is in fifth place. Behind him, MC Huppy, debuting with us tonight in this race, driving the Alpine in sixth place at the moment, 2 places up from his start. It's not been the best of race meets so far for our host Ricky Maru, who's down 5 places to 8th at this stage, and he'll be hoping to try and survive this one. But here he goes again with the I think he's trying to take out the leader. And the championship leader, no, that was a different RB. So that's he's trying to take out Betty, and he's hit the McLaren now. I think his best manoeuvre here is to reverse straight into the other drivers, because if he doesn't do that, then I think he's very likely to take a corner off the car. He can see the driver coming out of the pits here, and he's backing up into the pit lane. We've got 2 drivers in the pits. Oh, and he's taken out his own car again, Ricky. Great stuff. Fantastic. He managed to, but you can see the retreating Alpine had nowhere to go. Ricky hit 2 cars, and unfortunately for him is out. That's Loop Racer in 12th in the Alpine. Another great driving backwards moment there from our drivers, but Ricky unfortunately takes himself out for the second time tonight. Crazy stuff. So Ashtube 0.3 of a second away from the leader, El Plan. We have Bjorn de Boer down there, still some 26 seconds away, and I think his teammate is getting, he's taking the widest lines through here. MC Huppy is out. MC Huppy out of the race. Let's see if we can't find out where that is. There's an Alpine going the wrong way as well. Let's try and find out. That's Loop Racer with nothing to lose. Where is MC Huppy? We can't even see him anymore. Let's go back to Loop Racer, as he is now trying to go the wrong way around the circuit. Oh! He's trying his very, very best. He almost took out Bjorn, I think that was, but didn't succeed. So this is Bjorn with a bounty on his head coming into the pits. He might decide to pit every single lap here to try and avoid trouble down the start-finish straight if he can. Then we go ARL in 5th place here, right behind Carmad. MC Huppy is moving down the order at the moment, slowly as his car is being passed here. As Ricky says, he didn't know he could lose a rear wheel like that. But yeah, it does look like we need some wheel guards, like a sprint car or something for the drivers, don't we? Oh, and that was the Ferrari getting that corner wrong. Luke Fraser has retired from the session. I'm guessing that's him on the exit turn 5 and out of the race now. Won't feature and take anybody else out of the race at this stage. Who's behind them? We've got Alpha Alex closing in on the McLaren to put a lap on Floyd Pink here. I don't know if he will see much worth in taking out the McLaren, but the McLaren may well brake check him into one of these corners. And yeah, he is playing spoiler as usual. Oh, he didn't quite get him. That was a good bit of guesswork there from Alpha Alex. Carmad is managing to be exactly where he started this race. It's lap 10 of 18, and still the leaders are very close to one another. Now 2 seconds apart, El Plan in first place, and that will now become a target of the race. Talk about targets. Bjorn de Boer is still circulating, out of trouble, just picking up the points. I think he would rather not be the championship leader at the end of this race. I don't think he's enjoying it out there. Being very, very cautious. It's not exactly racing, is it? When you're going to be giving up loads of points when you get when you get wiped out. This is Ashtube, 2.5 seconds away now, as we've got fairly large gaps for the drivers. This is ARL in 4th place, coming up on an RB. I don't know exactly which RB that is. I think that's still Betty. Circulating, so he managed to get through okay. Carmad now has the opportunity, and as I said, I don't think the drivers will be able to distinguish between Betty running around slowly at the back and Bjorn de Boer running around slowly at the back being lapped. So I think they will just try and take out a VCARB wherever they possibly can. So I'm fully expecting the drivers to come through and try and take him out. Obviously, Betty and Bjorn de Boer will know which of the RBs Bjorn de Boer is. As into the pits comes one of those RBs. That's Betty this time. So we've got, is that Ashtube up at the front? No, that's El Plan coming up to lap a driver, I think, showing as white. That's a Haas, so that must be Atsu. And that is our race leader taken out. But down but not out is El Plan. And that was definitely a reset to track, folks. Caught him. I think he beached on the curb, but I don't think he tried reversing. So Atsu is going to take credit for that one, definitely. So props to Atsu. Milan is in second now. Ashtube up in the lead of the race. Only 6 seconds now in the lead of this race with 7 to go. It is Carmad who is on the tail here. That looked like ARL going for a wide line with Atsu playing spoiler. Atsu just trying to take anybody and everybody out if he can. He manages to hit the Ferrari, but only a slight touch. No one's trying the brake check going on, and the Ferrari pushes him wide, and that was nicely dealt with from Carmad. But Atsu is going to have to try and use the ERS, DRS, everything, and just try and careen straight into that Ferrari in revenge. I wonder if that's coming up. Yes, he has gone for it, but he takes out. Atsu retires from this session. It was a nice idea, but unfortunately, no control whatsoever on the Haas, and that's both Haases out again. Unfortunately, I'm sure Ricky was watching that one and enjoying it. We heavily encourage our drivers to drink and drive here. So I hope everyone's got a beverage of their choice in their hand or next to their wheel for in between race moments. This is the case. Hopefully we can do drunk league of destruction as well. It's Ashtube in the lead by 5 seconds. Will Ash want to be the hunted man here? Where is Bjorn de Boer at the moment? He is again on his own as the McLaren comes up to take on, I think that's an Alpine he's trying to take out. But does Floyd Pink know that Bjorn de Boer is closing in? A brake check would help here. A lot of weaving, ducking and diving going on for Bjorn de Boer, who doesn't want to pass that McLaren. So we will see. Almost coming to a complete stop is Floyd Pink. Would love Bjorn de Boer to be just in front of him. He wants those 15 points for taking out our leader here. But it looks like Bjorn has dealt with that absolutely brilliant. Floyd Pink lawn darts himself into the barrier at turn 12. He did come into contact with Bjorn de Boer, but he didn't take him out. So Bjorn de Boer continues to survive this race. He's now being tackled by a Williams, I think it is, of Alpha Alex. We have 8 runners remaining with 5 laps to go. We could have even fewer drivers coming back through here. Here they come into the pits then. Alpha Alex just behind the VCARB of our wanted man here, Bjorn de Boer, who is into the pits for a new set of tyres, new front wing as well. So you can't fault Floyd Pink for having a go there, but it didn't quite work, unfortunately. We wait to see what Callum can do coming out of the pits, and there is a brake check from the Williams. You can't just kind of brake and hold somebody. That's not really on. We have already had to rule that out, and Alex is doing his level best here to get those 15 points. And now, of course, everybody will have that chance, and Ferrari straight into him. That is Alpha Alex trying to take out Bjorn de Boer, but getting a Ferrari for his money nonetheless. So Bjorn de Boer, I think we should also give points for the best crash or biggest crash so far. And for me, that would be Ricky if we could. No, sorry, I'm going to go with Callum in race 1. They're reversing into his own teammate. So, Ashtube leads us. ARL is in 4th, and he's not far away from El Plan here. El Plan will be collecting plenty of points here so far. I will obviously try and hang on for Ricky and the updated standings at the end of today's race, and, of course, the driver chat going on. But there's only a few laps to go now of tonight's racing. It is El Plan there in 3rd. ARL trying to get him, if he can, in 4th place. Bjorn de Boer, I wonder how many pit stops Bjorn de Boer has now made. 4 stops for Bjorn de Boer, so he is taking the pit lane more often than not. He is just being pinballed around this circuit. So this is going to be very, very interesting end to the race here. ARL drivers taking a conventional racing line through turn 1. What is going on here? As ARL, can he take out the Sauber here? Not quite. I'm not sure that a front-on impact is what the drivers actually want out of this race, because it will destroy the front wing. Could take a corner off. I think you need to be brake checking somebody if you can. I think ARL might be going for the fastest lap here in clear air. I wonder if Bjorn will feel like it too, now that he's on his own. Is that Bjorn de Boer back in the pits for pit stop number 5? Yes, indeed it is. So Ashtube leads us. We've got Red Bulls 1 and 3 with Milan in 2nd place at this stage. We've got El Plan in 4th, and I think not unhappy with 4th place and the points that will deliver for him. And don't forget that all the drivers now coming up to where Bjorn de Boer is as they come on through the first corner. Carmad's in 5th. We've got El Plan in 4th, and in the pits, that's Carmad in 5th. That's Alpha Alex with a big hit there on the Red Bull. And neither driver out of the race, actually. That's Alpha Alex on ARL. No, it was on Ashtube. Ashtube then, from the lead of the race, has been taken out by Alpha Alex, who is definitely the killer of today's race, I think, so far. Alpha Alex down there in 7th place. How these cars are still driving, I do not understand. But we only have 8 survivors so far of the race. That's the Ferrari getting trying his best here to get a finish out of this race. Milan leads us by 10.6 seconds, the sole Ferrari. And who is that stamping on the brakes? That's Betty again, I think. That's Ashtube out of the race, unfortunately for him. So that's one of the Red Bulls gone. That leaves just ARL for the Red Bull team. And we have just VCARB left with 2 cars in the fight. This is Bjorn de Boer. No one is around him. He can just cruise along here. I think we've got some action happening there from, is that a Williams or an Alpine? Let's have a look. It looked like it was, yes, Alpha Alex again, trying to play spoiler if he can. He's not missing many opportunities here to take on and damage the cars. This is turn 12. And in front of him is El Plan. And El Plan braked heavily for 13. And Alpha is definitely gunning for as many takedowns as possible in this race. So, building up to 8th gear and getting up to the speed. Oh, that was nicely done from El Plan, avoiding contact there from Alpha Alex. But then Alpha comes at him, pushes him straight onto the grass. So Ashtube going down, and there is Alpha Alex into the wall. Alpha Alex, has he managed to survive? He has still survived this. That's the fastest lap from Bjorn de Boer, who is going to be taken out surely before the end of the race. It's lap 17 though. He's 19 seconds away from these other drivers, and he's approaching them with great caution, as you can see them on the track map, squabbling and fighting, and he's just going to try and take this one really, really steadily. Now, Milan leads us by 23.4 seconds. Surely nailed on here for a victory for the Mercedes team. Now, on his final lap of the race is Milan. But unfinished business happening at the moment there. Alpha Alex and Bjorn de Boer. Alpha would just love to get to finish this race with those full points, full 15 for taking out our leader. And he's trying. Oh, it's just too slow, these impacts. If someone came up on both of those drivers now and took out Bjorn de Boer when he was stationary, that would definitely get the points. Anyway, here comes Milan to come through the twisty, snaking, fast switchback corners. Ashtube out. Betty promoted to 5th at this stage. This is Milan. I wonder if he's gunning for that fastest lap as well on this final lap. Big drift. I think his tyres are completely gone for Milan. One more corner to go for Milan as he's drifting the car out of the corner. Side to side we go, trying to put a spin into the finish. Milan wins, and that looks like Bjorn de Boer, who did survive. We will see if it will be Milan's turn. Bjorn de Boer and Alpha Alex both finished the race. This then is ARL. We can't actually see what's happening at the moment here, as ARL, El Plan, Carmad and Betty are all in very close proximity. ARL still with 2nd place as things stand. Here he comes. One way, then the other. Try and get himself on the inside line. Big brake check from the Ferrari. I think he'll get T-boned here. Or at least that was the attempt made by Carmad as they steer one side, then the other. And it is just make your own lines as they come through the corners. Will we see a brake check here from the Ferrari as soon as the Red Bull is behind him? The Red Bull just about managing to get through, and he's going to go to the pit lane for the finish. Into the pit lane comes ARL to finish the race. We probably have Carmad coming across the line as well, about to finish. I think he'd like to wipe someone out before the end of the race. Let's see. We've got El Plan coming home to finish in 3rd to finish this race. And I think he's going to try and back into the start-finish line. But is he not going to take on... No, he's finished the race, and now the AI is trying to take this one home. ARL enjoyed that. Simply lovely, he says. This then, and a safety... we've seen this before from El Plan as well. I remember Canada in the first season, El Plan crossing the line in the pit lane. But it is a win for Mercedes. As AJ says, that was a good fight with Carmad for the last 3 laps. Indeed it was. Well, Bjorn de Boer, as the hunted man, gets the driver of the day for coming from the absolute back of the race. Just enjoy watching Callum on the replay there try and go out in a blaze of glory, and ended up in a fizzle of shame. There he is, Milan. So I will give you those points as soon as possible. Bjorn says 2 times fastest laps, 15 points for finishing this race, 1st and 7th, and a W. He reckons anyway. But I don't know how much he enjoyed racing in that second race as championship leader. But champagne aplenty. I don't think they should be drinking champagne. The drink of choice B for this. Anyway, Milan with the win. ARL El Plan. Bjorn de Boer did get that fastest lap in the end, so that was that was good. Carmad enjoyed himself as well in the driver chat as well. So there's Milan, ARL, El Plan, Carmad, Betty finishing 5th at home with Ashtube in 6th and Bjorn de Boer in 7th. I don't think, no, in fact, we finished with 5 drivers in the end after all that. But a fantastic international grid for you, and we look forward to next Saturday night as well. I'll give you those early standings as soon as I possibly can for you. Hopefully they'll be forthcoming very soon. I know Ricky will be very, very quickly. As AJ says, I hate the fact that in this league, I love it so much, I can't go back to regular racing. So why on earth would you? Why would you when you can race like this? So let's try and find you who is the championship leader, who is going to have their target on their back for the next round. I'm just trying to find the right area of the chat room. I think last time Ricky just tagged me and was able to give me those points. Where are you, Ricky? I know you're watching, but you're keeping me waiting. So next week, remember, this will be the 16th of November. We will be in Qatar and Singapore. This then is the driver points. Bjorn de Boer will hold the championship lead on 63 points from Milan on 41. Then we have El Plan on 39 in 3rd place. Betty and Carmad have 28 apiece for joint 6th. In 8th place, we have Alpha Alex. Loop Racer and Ashtube are joint 9th on 25. And then, well, I don't really need to read the rest of them because it will all change. But that means that VCARB have 91 on a lead team, and Mercedes 56 in 2nd. Red Bull have 46 in 3rd place. More standings at the start of next week's broadcast, but from me, Webbo, from everybody here at League of Destruction, have a great evening. Thank you for watching. Thanks so much for liking the video and subscribing on your way out, and we will catch you on the next race day.